everyone. Welcome to another episode or live episode of Soul Talks with Alka. Today, during the stay-at-home policies, we've changed our show a little bit and we're doing a live segment. We've invited guests from all around the country and we are giving you insights into their lives, into their businesses, so we can all gain some knowledge and learn from people around us. And we have a section of 5 minutes at the end for question and answers. So please post your questions and answers in the comments below, and we'll be happy to answer them for you. Today, I have with me the CEO of Moghul Caterers. So if someone is thinking of planning a wedding, an Indian wedding, the first name that comes to mind is Moghul Caterers because they are esteemed in the industry. They do a fantastic job. And when I thought of this topic, there was no one else I could think of but Kamal Arora. And with that, I am going to welcome Kamal. Kamal owns 8 restaurants and has a huge catering business. So Kamal, it's an absolute honor to get a hold of you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Alka. Thank you. Pleasure is all mine. And, thank you for thinking about me and, finding me worthy enough to be on your show. I've been, quite tracking your show and listening to what you've been doing. Few episodes have been really, really interesting. You're doing a great job, I must say.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So Kamal, I have a question. So, girls growing up think of their weddings as a day to remember. They're planning months and months and months for this big day. So when did you first start seeing the cancellations of weddings? When did that happen?
So let me answer it a little differently, right? When we talk about cancellation, I've been personally, I got into this business in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
So from 2005 until 2020, the only cancellations we had heard of were, some unavoidable circumstances like, a death in the family or, worst case scenario, like, the potential couple calling off the wedding because they just decided. I mean, those were the few which kind of cancellations, and maybe like 0.1%.
Right.
We do close to our average is about 5 to 550 weddings a year that we cater throughout America. Not just in America, we go nationwide, we go coast to coast, we go to islands, Bahamas, Mexico. Yes. We have been pretty much to every popular destination. And I want to mention here, we are not just Indian caterers. Moghul Caterers now does weddings, male streams, all kind of cuisines, not only limited to Indian, international, Japanese, Chinese, Canadian, Thai, Italian. You talk about it and we do it. So we are as mainstream as any other American catering company.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. So when you're working at that scale, when you have that kind of volume and infrastructure, suddenly Corona happens. Boom.
Boom.
And such an invisible thing. No one had imagined, just like, I would say how America underestimated this. I think we as business owners also quite underestimated the power of this invisible enemy, who literally have brought the entire industry, not only our industry, so many other industries to our knees.
Yes.
So talk about cancellation for a company which has never seen cancellations. Forget it. We used to have a different issue. We used to have issues of getting sold out.
Yes.
People would book us like 2 years in advance. We would get calls where they say, listen, daughter just got engaged. Which dates are you available? Can you give us few options? So we will plan everything around it.
Yeah.
So that's how life was pre-March, I would say, pre-mid-March.
This was a big new normal for you.
Right. And unfortunately, today we are at a situation where, I would say most of our events, at least until end of June, everything is canceled.
Wow.
We are still hoping, keeping our finger crossed. Going by the statistics, again, it's very difficult to predict. Nobody can predict as of now.
Yes.
We are hoping 4th of July. It's a long weekend. Every long weekend, not only us, every big or small restaurant, caterers, everyone gets busy.
Yes.
I'm sure everybody has some business on books for 4th of July, and we are just hoping that doesn't get canceled. But at the same time, we are also prepared if it does, because, hey, it's an act of God.
Yeah.
What can you do?
What can you do? And how is that? I mean, so you had a business that was the wedding business. So wedding business is what percentage of your main business?
That's, I would say, almost about 50% of our overall revenues in our
Wow.
group comes from catering alone.
Wow. So
So
50% of your business had the rug pulled out under you.
100% gone.
Wow. Wow. And when do
So
you think, well, you said July 4th, you think it'll come back, but have you shifted in a certain way to gear up for what's going to be coming up? Have you planned certain things? How are you working to make yourself better while you are off right now?
um, so so the scenario is so different. So 4th of July weekend is per se like it's just to make us feel better. You're sitting at home. I always say I talk to my kids. I talk to my wife every day. Anybody who talks about the virus, we just say stay positive, stay positive. Because overall, I think if everyone thinks positive, I think some message will go to the universe and something will happen. Maybe there'll be 100 degrees temperature and suddenly it will vanish the virus. So we are hopeful, but I also know the dark side of it that I don't know. It may not happen.
It
It
may
may
not
not
happen.
happen.
Yeah.
So what we are facing right now, which is rather a very unique situation, because what happens our first quarter of the year, being in Jersey, being in the tri-state area, because of weather, because of the brutal winter, nobody plans their big weddings around this time.
That's right.
So Jan, Feb, and March, we run into negative cash flows because our overheads remain fixed. Our
Absolutely.
payroll, our rents, and everything remains fixed, but our volume goes down. So whatever volume we have to do, our window is from April all the way until Thanksgiving weekend.
That's right.
So while we were preparing ourselves to get into that Easter weekend, because technically wedding business, whether Indian or mainstream wedding, starts with the Easter weekend
That's
and
right.
kind of dies down after Thanksgiving weekend. So that is our window. While the whole industry is preparing, getting excited, looking at our bookings and getting ready for it, boom. All these weddings are now getting shifted. People,
Wow.
some are canceling, some are
Mhm.
canceling, some are pushing it towards end of the year.
Mm.
But because those Indian months of Navratras, that October, Diwali,
That's right.
that is a very kind of
That's
an auspicious phase of
for the
festivities
weddings.
and
Yes.
everything.
Yes.
We are already sold out. The dates are booked because at the end everyone
Because
wants to get
everybody's
married on weekend,
postponed. Yeah.
right? So now these people who are moving their weddings from April, May, June window are pushing towards the October, November, December window, which is already full.
Wow.
December gets taken away by the holiday parties or a
That's
lot
right.
of corporate. So, and then that pushes them into Jan, Feb, and March of 2021, which again, either you take chance because what if there is a snowstorm in January? What if?
Yeah.
So we are coming back. So basically, the April of 2020 is pushing us back to April of 2021, which
Wow.
is, yeah, I mean, it's very sad. I mean,
So how did
uh,
you console the girls? I'm just curious, the brides, right, who are coming to you and they're coming and they're canceling and they're postponing their weddings. I'm sure you have to do a pep talk with them because as a caterer, you kind of become their counselor too.
yes, I mean, we anyways play that part because,
Yes.
we are their food vendor. Food plays a very important role.
Very
Every
important.
bride, every groom has, and every mother and father, every parent has something, some stories around the food. They want the food to be in certain ways. So we anyways become, their counselors or their, talking them out into it, planning and listening and giving our advices. And now I think that's what, instead of now talking about food or recipes or planning, we are more so have become their, like, talking buddies, like where all we can say is console them, give them some hopes, um, keep them excited about, their future wedding. It is going to happen. It's
That's
not
right.
end of the day. We talk about, I mean, I myself keep myself motivated. I'm still here smiling. I mean, that's what we can do. Like, there's two
That's
ways
all
to
we
look
can
at it.
do.
One
That's
is
right.
you count on all the sufferings, you count on all the financial losses. Another thing is, hey, when we came here, when I started this in the midst of 2005, what did I come here with? Nothing, right? Just
Nothing.
like any other immigrant, we'll build it again. Right now, all I ask for All I pray for is not only for me or my family, but for everyone around me to stay healthy, stay safe. If we are safe, we can build it again with these,
Absolutely.
times. And so that's what I hope, and that's what I tell all my brides. I mean, all day people think like there is nothing going on. Everyone has so much time. People that I feel bad that I have ignored in the past or have been so busy in my routine and life that
Me,
I
me,
never
me,
got
me,
back
me,
to.
me, 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 me.
Now now everyone thinks that, hey, this is the best time to get hold of Kamal, but it's most of the time I'm sending a text saying that, oh, I'm on a call. So guys, just to put it out there on a public platform, I'm not calling my banks or checking on my stimulus package loan or something. I am talking to my brides. I'm there for them. I'm giving them some hopes and still somehow trying to plan it out and projecting making some projections about future dates, about future openings, about calling different venues, seeing who has a date available, talking someone out if they have to get married. Let's opt for a Thursday night or maybe a Friday instead of Saturday. Look at some Sundays. So that's
Yeah.
it is.
But that's one side, right? Then you have a whole set of employees also that have been affected
Yes.
that were only for your catering business,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And how are you doing with their morale right now?
So same again. I mean, I have divided all my employees into different tiers, and I make sure I personally call them. I
Wow.
personally
Very
reach out.
nice.
I mean, some of them have been on a furlough, so at least they are, government is helping them with some unemployment.
Right.
So, but those who are not or who have some kind of issues or something, I mean, we are there. I mean, we are helping them as in, and we are not Fortune 500 company. At the end of the day, we are very small business. Whatever as an owner, whatever I can do, we are doing our best to make sure a they don't get demoralized. B, their household keeps on running. Their rents are being paid.
Yes.
They have enough groceries. They have enough food on their plates. I mean, at this point, if we can take care of that, I think that would be the biggest help we can do. And of
Yes.
course, at the end of the day, giving that assurance to all of them that soon we are all going to be back on work. Soon our community, our customers who have been supporting us for all these years are going to come back, are going to support us even more. They will, I'm sure people will get fed up of this. And whenever we come out without those masks and we are openly able to hug each other and shake each other's hands, everybody is going to throw big parties. We're going to celebrate.
Yes.
I'm going to do that. I'm already
Absolutely.
planning a big Corona party. Go Corona. Like, go away.
So Kamal, heavy is the head that wears the crown. You're obviously handling a lot of people. You're handling your brides, you're handling your staff. How are you staying positive to give that positivity to everybody?
Well, honestly, like my biggest something that keeps me going, in all honesty, is spending this time with my kids, with my family, which I have not done in last 15 years. My business
Yeah.
requires me to work on weekends. I work late nights. People come for their meetings, their appointments after they leave their work, which keeps me at my work until 9, 10 o'clock, sometimes at night. I've never had dinners with my family. I miss those things. I missed out on family affairs, family events. Right now, like cooking together, discussing, kids are home from their college, talking about their careers, talking about their online classes, learning how to make TikTok videos, how to,
Nice.
so that is for me the biggest motivation.
Right.
I'm also kind of getting my 8 hours of sleep. I know it's against the odds, but it is, I guess. I mean, talking to people is making me very happy. I feel I'm personally making some difference in people's lives, whether
Yes.
it's my employees or my clients, my brides. It At the end when I go to bed, there is some sort of satisfaction
That's
I go
nice.
back with.
Have you
Getting
seen
up in the
any
morning.
virtual weddings? Have you seen any? Have there been talks of that? Has anybody switched gears? Ashima asked that, and Alana asked that. So two people want to know if there's been virtual weddings.
Not yet. We have not. We have heard about it. There are virtual weddings. I was reading about one which happened not in America, I think in some other country. But I think the way Indian weddings works per se. I think the way we have grown up, the way even our parents have grown up, we all are amazing hosts, right?
Yes.
For us, like our guest is God. right? So I think most of our customers would rather wait and still go. Yeah, I mean, the weddings may not be, there'll be certainly a different phase of our business or this wedding industry. The big weddings may be cut down into a shorter versions because there were weddings. I mean, I had so many trips planned for my destination wedding, which all got canceled. They are not happening again, right? I had weddings which were for 500,000 people. They may be now into 200, 300, or maybe 150 people. So, but I think Indian bride and grooms are still not into the virtual thing. I mean, I've yet to experience. I mean, I would love to. I mean, we can even plan. We are the planners. That's what we do. We make it happen. If there is something virtual happening, I'll make sure the guests at least within the state of New Jersey get a nice goodie bag outside their door with some nice sweets and some food packed, and we all go on a Zoom at one point, and everybody
That's
is,
awesome.
witnessing and enjoying.
So for anyone
Right. We would
considering,
love to. We would love to do.
for anyone considering a
Right.
virtual wedding, I think
That's
please
right.
talk to Kamal. This
Great.
venue is still open.
It's possible, quite possible. Yes. Why not?
Yeah. But when have you put a plan together? Asta is asking, have you put a plan together for when you come on board or when you start? How is that phase in going to be, or how is that transition going to be for you?
Well, I am waiting right now to go with the statistics, to go with what government. At the end of the day, I mean, it depends on the virus. It depends on the local government.
Yes.
I'm sure we, being restaurant owners, food industry, we will have special guidelines. What I hear, I'm in touch with NJRA, New Jersey Restaurant Association. What we are hearing is that there will be phases. Not everything will open overnight. We may have to keep operating on takeout basis. There may be a restriction on how many people we can let in. Just like in the beginning of or midst of March, how governor had put a restriction on social gatherings. I'm sure whenever we reopen, which again we are looking into mid-June to end of June or early July, there will be some restrictions. I mean, at that
so you
point,
think
I
there'll be
think
weddings will be limited? It won't be like 500 people. It'll be
it won't be.
maximum.
I think no, that we are looking at what again based upon what I'm hearing uh, would be like not before August, September, where
Okay.
and it could be like a minimum group of 100, then they may raise it to 200, then it can
Got
go.
it.
And by the time we free or some miracle happens and we have a vaccination. I mean,
Wow.
ultimate confidence will be if there is a vaccination. Then people will be freely out. What I've been told, let's say if I have a restaurant that seats 100 covers, 100-seater restaurant may not be able to have 100 guests at the same time. We cannot have maybe more than 50 guests and then wait for, like you have to somehow control or let people, depends. We depend on local authorities to give us a guideline.
Got
But
it.
yes, one thing is for sure, if anyone who's ready to bounce back is, of course, with given our infrastructure and everything, we are ready to bounce back even tomorrow. I mean, all my entire team is motivated. They all are waiting desperately to get back to work.
Nice. So if you have, so along with your industry, right, the catering industry, there is the DJs, there's the photographers, there are the event planners. Everybody's business has been the florist.
Right.
What would you give them as advice so that they can stay positive during this or to prepare? What would be your words of wisdom for them?
See, so right now, as I said, when I talk on behalf of the entire wedding industry.
Okay.
And it's like a domino effect. Like if one wedding gets canceled, obviously it's lot. It involves a venue, it involves entertainment, it involves a decor, it involves the photo, DJ, video. So many vendors.
Yes.
Everyone is in the same boat. I mean, my advice to not only DJs or decorators, I think we all need to utilize this time in learning as much as we can, in improving and coming out of more creative ideas, coming out of because whenever we bounce back, I'm sure our people will have a different energy. Their expectation is going to be very, very different. So, and we will not have time. We definitely will not have time to breathe. So utilize this time and learn as much as you can. and that's what I'm doing. Like I have not seen, people used to text me, but bride used to call me, watch this show on Netflix. You should watch Food Network. I never
Watch
got
this
time.
movie on Netflix.
Yes, exactly. This is what I'm doing these days. I work out. I mean, that's another thing. One thing that good has happened is that I am working out religiously,
Nice.
It definitely, it gives me, it just calms me down. It keeps me stable.
That's nice.
I think very positive, because when that you have that adrenaline rush in your body, you definitely are thinking positive. So, and that's what I advise to everyone: utilize this time, develop a
Yes.
hobby, like
Yes.
develop a hobby, whatever. I was never into reading. I used to hate reading. I cannot focus because my brain is so like running.
It's
I'm
ADD.
actually reading now.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, it is. It is. So, but mine keeps me back to my work, so I can focus somewhere, but not focus on a book which is in front of me. But now
So
I'm actually reading.
So Kamal, we've gotten a bunch of comments on your wine collection. Everybody's praising your wine collection and saying you're definitely well stocked for this quarantine. So kudos to you on this
This
wine
is
collection.
what you see in the background. I was actually trying to see which background, and I'm talking to you from my basement bar, and I thought, because this will be the most peaceful place in the heart, because we have a dog, kids have their classes, and there is always something going on. So, but I went through every corner of this room where I'm sitting right now, and trust me, each corner has wines. So I thought this would.
So both Ashima and Vic said they're very, very, very impressed by your wines. But Mona had a question. She said, "How are you stocking up ingredients? Have you started to kind of phase in your restaurant business also with stocking up for them for reopening?"
So we, of course, most of our ingredients are very perishable, but we are in
Right.
touch with our suppliers. It's like a whole supply chain. We work with these national level suppliers who have enough in stocks, and our turnaround is 24 hours. If I want to open, let's say on this Friday, I just need to decide 1 or 2 days in advance what we need to order, as long as the supply chain is not disrupted. Everything
Right.
is right now in place. All the warehouses have enough stocks. Most of our key spices that we anyways ground in house. That
Right.
we ground in house, we make them in house. Our base gravies, everything we make in house. All we really need is just the produce,
Got it. Got it.
and we are good to go. So,
Great, great. And thank you so much, Kamal. You've been a ball of energy. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you
thank
for
you.
making time for us. This was a perfect time. If I called you any other time, there is no way I would have gotten the time of day from Kamal. So I think the pandemic worked for me to get Kamal's attention and to get Kamal here and talk to us. So thank you so much, Kamal, for joining us.
Thank you, Alka.
Thank
And
you for being with us.
to all the listeners, if anyone has any questions, they can always reach me. I'm actually more active on social media than phone calls. I mean, everyone who are close to me, who know me, they know that I would rather text message or a Instagram messenger or a Facebook message has a better response than an actual physical phone conversation. So please feel free to reach out, send me your questions directly. And thank you so much, Alka.
Thank
You
you.
also
And
stay
thank,
safe. You're doing a wonderful task.
thank you.
At least bringing a lot of positivity to our community, our local town of Edison.
Thank you.
So
Thank
keep
you.
doing all the good things.
Thank you so much. And for everybody watching, thank you for watching our live stream. We'll be back next week with Dr. Jane. She's a psychologist for Gen X, and she's going to be talking about how the pandemic is affecting kids who were born between 1995 and 2015. Their lives have done an over, they have no idea what's going on. So, how this pandemic has affected them. And we'll be back on Wednesday at 6 p.m. So, please join us live, and thank you for joining us today. Thank you.